Hi, my name is Caroline, and I did my final project on acne for human nutrition, and I just wanted to tell you guys about it. So, what is acne? It is a common skin condition affecting 11 to 30-year-olds, 85% of teenagers. It is one of the most popular, uh, it is one of the most prevalent diseases worldwide, and it affects up to 50 million people in the U.S. annually. It occurs in the face, back, chest, and shoulders. Impact on the US. So this is a pie chart representing female reported acne 65% and male reported acne 34%. It does represent 9.6 million patients in the US, and it represents 80 public and private healthcare plans that are included. So I think that just from this correlation, you can see how females have more reported acne than males, and we're going to get more into that gender comparison in some later slides. So here I have a graph of comorbid conditions by gender, and it is a representation of conditions in patients with acne um, and between males and females. And as you can see, all these conditions are much more common in females than males, except for ADHD. So this is another graph of the prevalence of adult acne in females and males. Um, you may notice how acne is more common in women and men at every age, and you also may notice the downwards decline in from each year. But you also may notice how men have a severe downward trend, a much more severe downward trend than women. And some long-term factors I also wanted to include on this slide was the environmental or biological factors associated with acne. And when researching, I found that Europe and Australia have a lot lower acne rates just due to their climate, temperature, and humidity. And I think that that's really important to acknowledge just where you live can impact your skin and well-being. So leading us into the impact on global population, I wanted to talk about key global trends. And so here's just a pie chart of Latin America, Egypt, Nigeria, Asia, Middle East. And what I found the most interesting was Egypt, which is very rural, had reported 5.4% cases of acne, and Nigeria had reported 90.7%, and Nigeria is urban. And just recognizing this significant gap observed between urban and rural settings, I think is very important. You know, we just talked about where you live is very important, and rural or urban areas are obviously more affected by acne. And how prevalence varies based on urbanization, lifestyle, and environmental factors we just talked about. Um, Higher trends in industrialized regions like Middle East and Asia. And yeah, I also just wanted to touch on ethnicity, and here's a graph just talking about African American, Hispanic, Asian descent, and Caucasian, and it was very interesting to know how studies have shown that acne is more common in darker skin. So yeah, here's a comprehensive acne overview. Signs and symptoms. Just the process is it happens when pores, hair follicles are clogged. It is caused by excess sebum oil and dead skin cells. And the diagnosis, it's more of a self-diagnosis, depending on the severity. I talked about how acne is mild to severe. And depending on the severity, if you want to get checked out, if you want to go to your dermatologist and get diagnosed with either hormonal or bacterial acne, or even if it's just caused by your genetic, you can get popular treatments like topical creams or prescriptions. For topical creams, you can get salicylic acid, benzoyl peroxide, or adapalene gel. And then some prescriptions include antibiotics, spirulactone or isotretinoin. And isotretinoin is one of the most severe treatments you can go on. I've been on isotretinoin for the past 6 months, and that is what prompted me to study acne to begin with. Just to dive deeper into that, the treatment is 5 to 8 months. It's very important to hydrate during this time. All the oils are being stripped from your body. You must avoid alcohol. It requires monitoring like blood tests. You may not get pregnant under any cost. Your baby will have teratogen, birth defects actually. This is more about the dosage and then just the mechanism of action. Obviously, like reduces sebum oil production up to 90%. It's a very, very effective acne treatment, although it really affects you mentally and physically. Here are some side effects. The relationship between acne and diet. High glycemic load diet is bread, sugary snacks, soda, which overall causes rapid spikes in blood sugar and insulin. And these spikes lead to breakouts. And that's why high glycemic load is not very effective. Low glycemic load, whole grains, vegetables don't spike insulin levels and actually keep your blood sugar stable and allow for lower inflammation. This is a graph to describe that comparison. Dairy consumption and acne. I've really heard my whole life that dairy is a primary root of acne, and it is actually not. Milk, there's a positive correlation between milk and acne, although low-fat milk actually triggers a higher insulin response, increasing sebum oil, which overall increases breakouts. So that was interesting to learn. Just, it contains processing additives and is similar to whey protein, which is known for causing acne. Yogurt is very good. It has beneficial bacteria, hormonal impact, and it is anti-inflammatory. These are some more dietary interventions for acne, some food supplements, and some friendly choices to pick from. The bottom line, though, is I think that low glycemic foods like omega-3s and probiotics may help reduce acne, but it will not cure the root problem of it unless you go to a doctor and really put some thought into whether it's bacterial or hormonal. It's also too important to think about how high glycemic foods will not help you. They will contribute to your acne development, but they won't be the main cause of your acne. So this is my patient case profile. Her name is Lily Hostetter. She's 16 years old. She has a BMI of 25. She's a female. She is most likely diagnosed with hormonal acne. She's 16. She's at the peak of hormones just getting all over the place. I think that her BMI of 25 may be linked to increased insulin and hormone fluctuations from body fat, resulting in breakouts. And I also think just starting high school as a teenager, making new friends, getting used to the social life, the course load, the sleep patterns, just that whole beginning of stress is a contributor to acne as well. So future plan, just shifting to a low glycemic diet, see if that helps managing stress levels, getting better sleep, using better cosmetic products, and looking into possible solutions like acne medications. So here are some daily requirements that I made for her. Some macronutrients. Her energy has to be between 2,000 and 2,200 calories per day. Lower refined carbs, higher protein intake. It is said that protein can help rebuild the skin barrier and stabilize blood sugar. And then here are some supplements that she may look into as well. But overall, as a whole, Lily needs to lower refined carbohydrates and have higher proteins and healthy fats to regulate her hormones and reduce acne during this time. So yeah, here's her first meal plan that I made for her. It's she can choose from this breakfast, or she can also choose from this breakfast or this lunch. I made her just 2 full days of food just to have a variety to look at, and then a lot of snacks. Both days are around 2,000, 2,100 calories. And then some key takeaways I wanted to talk about. Diet, I've read so many articles saying that diet affects acne and diet doesn't affect acne. And I think it's really important to recognize that diet is not the root contributor to acne. It can either make it worse or it can make it better. It's not the main cause. Acne was there before. And I also think it depends on the person. It depends on where you live. It depends on who you are. It depends on what you want with your acne, and if you want to acknowledge it, and if you want to get help for it. I also wanted to highlight just the rural vs urban environment. I just think that gap was huge, and I found it really interesting. It was really great doing this project. I learned a lot about acne, and I think it was very productive because now I can help my friends and my family and anyone that struggles with it, and I can be mindful of what I'm eating, and it's great. I'm finishing isotretinoin in a few days, so it was a great way to wrap up my time. Thank you so much.